It's a great day to be a Razorback. Excited to add some new family members to the Razorback family. We got better today as a program, without a doubt. The new additions to an already extremely strong class for 2019 added Traylon Burks from Warren High School, big receiver, linebacker, 6'3", 225. Just been a fantastic player. Obviously suffered an injury this year, but a great young man, loves the Hogs, and that excites me. Jalen Cataline from Mansfield Legacy High School in the state of Texas. One of the top high school football players that I think I've ever seen, top 5 for sure. Fantastic player, plays safety, can play a lot of different positions. But I've been watching high school football for a very long time and recruiting for a very long time, and this young man is one of the best that I've seen. He's played a lot of positions. Hudson Henry from Pulaski Academy and in Little Rock, obviously big tight end for us. We know obviously his family and the legacy that they have, and you know what Coach Kelly's done there, and man, it's just been phenomenal of this young man, 6'5", 235. I feel like that he's going to come in and make a major impact. And watching him and the success that he's had. Amonte Spivey, running back from Central High School in Phoenix City, Alabama, a traditional powerhouse. Won a state championship this year. Absolutely a dominant program in that state. We've got great connections there. This definitely continues to open up a pipeline to get kids out of the state of Alabama. But I'm extremely excited about him. 6'1", 208 running back, a big physical back. We're excited about. We added some other additions to our program today. Obviously, we're always looking for winners, guys that can come in that love the Hogs, that love being a part of what we're building. Hudson Clark, a safety from Highland Park High School, obviously won 3-time state champion, and he's contributed in all of those, and just a huge impact player. Logan Callison, offensive lineman from right here, right up the road here at Shiloh Christian, a young man that we're extremely excited about that loves the Hogs. 6'4", 300. I feel like he's going to come here and add some depth. Logan Orr from Jonesboro. I always love going over into Jonesboro. Got great relationships there, and to be able to bring a linebacker in here, another young man that loves the Hogs. Big linebacker, 6'2", 220. He's going to come in and give us some depth. Drew Vest, which is already on campus here, big offensive lineman, 6'6", 300, from Searcy High School here in Arkansas. Another young man that's when you look at his family heritage, they love the Hogs. He's got his family and grandfather, and I mean, it just goes way back. And then another one from Pulaski Academy there in Little Rock, a fantastic football player. As we watch this young man, and to get him and his family up here, John David White, wide receiver, 5'11", 180, is dynamic with the ball in his hands, a great route runner. So just to see those guys and to watch each and every one of these families as they committed to the Razorbacks is really special. And I've said that over and over. I've shared that with our team. The love of the Hogs, we got to have that. And these guys definitely bring that. So extremely excited about the new additions to our football team. You know, we've got some early guys that are already here, as you know. Our guys that are on campus now, Trey Knox, Shamar Nash, Greg Brooks, Devin Bush, Mateo Soli, Eric Gregory, Zach Williams, Myron Cunningham, Chaboise Nwana, Drew Vest, which I mentioned, and Ben Hicks. Ben, I have not had a chance to talk about Ben. Ben joined us, was with us at SMU, 3 years at SMU with us, all-time leading passer. Excited to have his leadership, his competitiveness in our program, and he's done a great job getting in and building those relationships. So with that, I'm extremely excited. It's a great day to be a Razorback, and this is being here one full year and going through one full year recruiting cycle, to be able to sign the class that we signed, I'm excited about the future of 2019 and the Arkansas Razorbacks. And I'll open up for questions. Raise your hand, we'll get a mic to you.
Chad, you got maybe 4 open scholarship spots or so. What's the plan for those potential quarterback transfers, or what do you got in mind?
Well, we're always in the quarterback market. I've said that, and I'll continue to say that. You can never have enough of those guys. Got to have competition there. We do have, I don't want to say our number right now is at 3 or 4 spots. And you never know. We'll see as the spring unfolds, how things go. We'll go through and find some needs that we have. We're always looking, as you said, we always talk about quarterback. We're looking, whether it be at linebacker, at corner, you're always trying to improve in any area you can. But we do have some spots, and that's a good thing.
Can you kind of walk us down with the Monte Spivey? Been committed for a long time, but was exploring some option stuff. How did that recruiting process play out for you?
Well, it's when you're recruiting and your own guys that everybody else is after too, and we felt like that our relationship in that school was strong. We felt like our relationship with he and his family, Coach Traylor and Coach Craddock, did a fabulous job with him. At the end of the day, we just continue to work and continue to visit and share our vision. And as I've said it before, if I have to beg you to come here, then I'm going to have to beg you to play on 3rd and short, and I'm not going to beg you for that. And so we want people that want to be here and want to make an impact in this program.
Coach, Ben Hicks was benched for a little bit at SMU this season. What did you see from him this season that gives you confidence that he can still do it and come do it here?
Yeah, well, I think when you look at Ben, and I've known Ben for a long time, and watching him and how he responded through adversity, coming in with a coaching change, it's always tough. It's tough on everybody. But to watch the way he responded and to be able to come back off the bench and win ball games for him was huge. That tells you his resilience. That tells you his fight and his drive. He knows our offense, and he knows us. He knows what to expect, and he's been a great addition to our program.
Coach, kind of a two-parter. One of the rear safeties in the country, and Jalen Catalon. How great is it to get him, and what do you think about him? And also completing that trio there for Mansfield Legacy.
Well, it's rare to sign 2 kids out of the same school. But when you can sign 3 kids out of the same school, it says a lot. I think that, and then you look at the impact that each one of those players, from Torian Carter to Enoch Jackson. I mean, these are guys that we're anticipating coming in here and making an impact the day they step on campus. And then Jalen Catalon, as I mentioned earlier, and I've seen a lot of high school ball. And I've said this over and over about him, and watching him we were the first to offer him at our time at SMU, and just knowing him and knowing the program he plays in and the level of competition he has to play at. He would play safety, play quarterback, played both ways. He's one of the top 5 best high school players that I've seen play, and so I think his potential and his upside is phenomenal. It's unfortunate that he suffered an injury this year in the first game, because I think the outcome for their season would have been different, because I think he's that big of an impact player. And not only just that I think that, but when you travel around and knowing the coaches that I know in that state, and to listen to them talk about him as a person and as a player, it's phenomenal. But when you meet his parents, you understand that, you meet, you understand. I mean, his sister is probably the best athlete of all of them in the 8th grade. And so just a great family.
Go ahead.
Hey, Coach, how does having 2 signing days, how does that change your approach to recruiting, or does it change it at all?
Well, now that we've been able to go through it for a year ago it was awful. A year into it, it's been very, very productive. Now the month of December was incredibly difficult. I think we logged somewhere around 40 or 41,000 air miles is what I've been. And so over the last month and a half, however long we've been recruiting, the month of December is really tough. You're doing 9 home visits in a week. And, you figure that out, and you're eating just about in every one of those home visits. So sometimes there's 2 meals in the same night within a couple hours, and you eat all you can. You have to, you better anyways. But a lot of work on the front end, a lot of exhausting nights on the front end. But when you get through that December signing period, which is now the regular signing period, this is the late period. And what it allowed us to do the month of January is to really focus on our area schools, spending time in our state. We're going to hit every school in this state at some point within the year. So it allowed us to do that. It allowed us to really dive into 2020 recruiting, 2021 recruiting, and just starting putting our board together. And it allowed me as a head coach to get out and to get into schools and not feel as rushed to get to a home visit at night.
Coach, you mentioned Jalen Catalon coming off that injury. Traylon also had a midseason injury. How long are we looking before they're possibly back, and how's their recovery going?
Yeah, they're both well ahead of schedule. We anticipate those guys being back and ready to go when they get here in June, full throttle and ready. They'll come up and go through evaluations for our team doctors, but our doctors will be in touch with theirs and making sure that everybody's on the right page, and so we anticipate those guys being ready to go for sure for fall camp and summer workouts.
Coach, it was your first year recruiting in the SEC, the full cycle. Any big lessons you learned that'll help inform how you do things in 2020?
No, just be yourself. Be yourself and be genuine. We've got so much to sell. At the University of Arkansas, we've got a tremendous upside to coming here and making an impact. But no, there's no magic potion. It's all about relationships. It's all about getting out and working, and sharing your vision.
Coach, linebacker, is that possibly something that you would look at between now and the end of spring and stuff? Maybe just signing one right now in the class.
Yeah, we'll definitely be looking and see where we go with that. You never know how it all unfolds through the course of spring and into summer. But yeah, we'll be open and with the positions we have available right now, the scholarships we have available, we're open to several things.
Coach, just looking at the roster, I'm guessing next year, I don't mean to jump you too far, but you guys are already out doing stuff in recruiting for next year. But it looks like quarterback, running back, I guess linebacker, maybe safety would be a couple of areas that you guys would hit. What are your thoughts on maybe areas that you would hit more than maybe in a normal year?
Well, I mentioned earlier about quarterback. We're always in the quarterback market, doesn't matter what year. Running backs, we feel like that. We'll continue to explore that. With the graduation of some, maybe a potential of someone leaving early. You never know those things. You've got to build your O-line and D-line though. You got to be. It's a line of scrimmage league. I think one of the big focuses too would be corner, and continue to get speed. We've got to continue to address the areas of speed, and now we got this class. This is our team. We got to. And we've got to develop the guys that we have, and the guys that are here and that are putting in the hard work, and understand that this is now the next step is we got to continue to develop these guys. Recruiting never stops. It never stops. And we're recruiting, got 2020s and 2021s on the phone all day long today, and just sharing with them that they're next. And so, but we'll be open for a lot of areas.
Hey, Chad, where are you at in the process of replacing hiring a replacement for John Scott? And is it possible, I know Steve Caldwell's just coached the whole line before, is it possible you might hire a special teams coordinator? What are you looking at for that spot?
Yeah, there is. There's a possibility of that, but or a special teams coordinator that will coach a position as well. So there's different options there. We hope to have a replacement definitely before the start of spring ball. Obviously, we'd like to have something in there in the next few days if we could.
The earn everything thing that kind of hit winter conditioning. Can you talk about what led to that, where the guys are in stages of earning back their things?
Everybody. Recruiting department, we got to earn everything. And so that I know that our players have been very appreciative. Last week was was a week that we had to pull a win out on Friday. We had to have a perfect Friday to win. And when you win, you earn a piece of gear. And we earned a pair of shorts. So we have Razorback logo on our shorts. And so we're excited about that. Hopefully this week we can get a win and we'll get another piece of gear. So, but it is, and that'll be an opportunity, and eventually we'll earn our way back into our locker room.
With those 3 spots available, do you look to sign someone here in the next couple of days, or do you go and look at the transfer portal? How do you handle?
Well, that's really hard to say right now. We could. We're not going to get in a hurry just to fill spots. That's the one thing that I've found in this business you can get yourself in trouble in. If we find the right fit for us, then we'll fill it. If we don't, then that's okay. That's all right.
Coach, you've been big on talking about not just winning, but how you win. Mm-hmm. And you guys have been very active in the community. I'm curious because you kind of touched on this in the beginning, but how do these guys reflect your approach in terms of character, the guys you're bringing in this signing class?
Well, I think not just this signing class, but our entire football team. And I go back and I say it again, and you got to have a love for the Hogs. You got to love the Hogs. There's too many people in this state that Razorback football, basketball, Razorbacks in general, it's a big, big, big deal. And the more our players can understand the impact that they have in every household, and every kitchen table, and every garage in this state, the more they understand and appreciation for what they have to earn. And we have our Hogs. It's H is have, O is won, G is goal, and S is success. Have one goal, success. Whatever success is in your life, that's what we're after. And that's a big deal, and we want a love for that. And we want those guys to understand that. And when you then recruit to that and build a team to that, then you find quickly that it's more than just the player. And I've said this since I've gotten here. There's such thing as great players that don't fit us. That's okay. We don't want them. There's great players that do fit us, and those who we have to go get. And when you start looking and you start talking to the parents, and whether it's the grandmas, the aunties, whoever is the closest impact person in their life, and you understand that they're winners and that they have a love and appreciation for their most prized possession or commodity to be taken care of, and that's when you know. And so it's when you meet our players, it's phenomenal. When you meet the parents, it's unbelievable.
Now that you go to the next stage in spring football coming up just about 3 weeks away, what's the goal between now and then? And are you worried about quarterback? Because obviously you've lost a couple and maybe one's playing another sport this spring.
No, am I worried about quarterback? I mean, no, we've got to continue to develop guys. I mean, we've got to have a competition and we've got to continue to push. And but no, I'm not worried about that. I think that'll work itself out. I think between now and spring, we got to continue to grow closer as a team, which we're working at. We've got a few weeks ahead of us to get through quarter one of our winter conditioning, and when we do that, then we'll introduce quarter two on, I think it's Monday the 25th, and spring ball starts on the 26th, and that'll take the next step into our development.
We talked to Dave Van Horn the other day. He said you and he had a conversation about dividing up Connor's time. I mean, do you anticipate Connor being at all every spring practice, or how do you feel about that situation?
Well, we always talk about one Razorback, and I think Connor's going to exemplify what that means. And there's got to be great communication between Coach Van Horn and myself, and we're constantly talking. We'll talk a couple times a week. As a matter of fact, I think I may go down and watch him pitch Saturday. And so I think at the end of this, and we look at it, we got to make sure that the number one focus is Connor Nolan. And he can't get lost in this shuffle, making sure that he's taken care of as far as just the wear and tear on himself. And so he's been in workouts with us this week. He goes down and he pitches, and he goes down and gets his workout in baseball, and there's a great relationship that we have, our strength staff has with their strength staff, and we're talking daily or every other day, making sure we're monitoring his workload. So I'm excited for Connor, and I know that Coach Van Horn is as well, and I think he has a chance to be a very special player here.
Coach, you mentioned Catalan. Just the type of player, what he brings on the field, and the playmaker he is, if you can kind of give us an insight of that? Is he a corner? Is he safety? Is he all of that? And then I'm curious to top 5 players, if you remember some of those guys that you would put in the top 5 along with him.
Yeah, I've seen, I've watched Deshaun Watson play. I've watched Vince Young play. I mean, there's been some great ones that we've seen, and I have to go back and think of some more. But he's up there. I mean, he's very instinctive, especially when you see what he's having to do in all phases, offense, defensively. He played quarterback, also comes in doubles as safety. Phenomenal baseball player. I mean, he's a well-rounded athlete, and was a great basketball player. So when you look at that and you look at the impact that he has on his team, I think the one word I would say more than anything, he's just extremely instinctive, and he loves to play the game.
New graphic and a new hashtag. Just tell us what's going behind Diamond Gang and Diamond Gang XX hashtag.
Well, it's part of our creative team and their creative thinking and marketing, and with from Cody Vincent and Brooks Cockrell, and we've got Jake in there, SJ. It's been everybody that we challenge our creative team to really do a lot of brainstorming, and as we roll out our 2020 campaign. It's when you look at our state and the diamonds in our state, and so it all ties back into the natural state.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.